Alright, welcome everyone. In this video, I'm going to be discussing a warning that was just issued that our drinking water facilities are under attack. That's the focus of the video. Let's get into it and talk through the details. Alright, so now just yesterday, the Biden administration sent out a letter to states to be on the lookout for cyber attacks against our water facilities, as these international hackers are targeting these facilities because they're easy targets and they can easily hack into them, which they've already had some success doing in the last few months. Well, this is becoming a major concern, which is why the Biden administration sent out this letter to states to be on the lookout for these, as they are specifically targeting our drinking water and our wastewater facilities. Now, let me ask you really quickly, do you think a disruption in our drinking water and our wastewater would maybe be a little bit of a problem? Yeah, it would be. Think about how much water we use as individuals and as a household on a daily basis. We're constantly running water all the time for different things, right? That'd be a major disruption. Now again, why would these hackers be doing this? Because they know it's going to massively disrupt our livelihoods, our country as a whole, and major regions. Now, let me ask you another question really quickly. In your local area, or maybe just in your state, how many times in 1 year time frame do you maybe hear on your local news, you read in the paper, you hear from somebody in your local area, things like, hey, we're under a boiler restriction. Have you ever had this? Yeah, all the time. We see it all the time. Probably a couple times throughout the year we hear about this. Now, obviously, that's not the case for everybody in every situation, but we probably see this a couple times per year where, hey, this city, this county, this location is under a boiler restriction. In other words, don't drink the water, just boil it if you're going to use it for anything, right? My point is, just something like that is massively disrupted for local areas, right? So if they were to disrupt our drinking water facilities and things like this in a massive way, like this letter and this communication that's going out and the warnings that are being said right now, this could be massively impactful for a lot of people, okay? So now again, I want to point this out really quickly. I would not identify myself as a prepper. However, I am one of these people that likes to have a little bit of supplies and different things on hand, just because honestly, it's just nice practice to do that, right? Think of a few years ago as well. Let me point this out really fast here, okay? So like, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, before all this massive inflation started to come into the economy, I was out in several videos at that time and I said, hey, we're starting to see inflation ticking up a little bit. If there's any way you can grab a few extra cans of soup from the store, if you can stock away a couple boxes of pasta or things like this that are not very perishable, that you can stick away for, and consume them at a later date in a few months or something like that, I'd highly recommend it. It was something I was saying like 3.5 years ago. As we started to see all this money printing, we knew that massive inflation was coming. Well, guess what? If we would have stuck away, I don't know, 10, 15 cans of soup and a few boxes of pasta or other items that we can come back to at some point in the future, just like, considering now where inflation has jacked up prices significantly in the last couple of years, we would have been sitting in a good situation, right? So think of the situation now. We have no idea what the future is going to hold, but I don't know. Would it maybe be smart practice to maybe, try to stick aside a couple bottles of water, things like this, just to lean back on in the event that something does get disrupted in a major way? Again, I'm not going to sit here and be like, buy 50 cases of water and put them in your garage. I'm not going to say that, okay? I don't do that, so I'm not going to tell you to do that. But my point is, would it maybe be nice to have, a few gallons of water sitting aside? It might be smart these days, right? Again, we have no idea what's going to happen, but you just never know, right? This could be possibly very scary. And again, we all need water, okay? This is very important. Now, obviously, we could probably go a couple days without, I'm going to say it, bathing. If we had to, we probably could. We don't want to, but I'm just saying if we had to, we could. But this could be a major problem, especially when it comes down to drinking water. And another thing as well, think of it this way, okay? Think of some of the southern states. We have Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Florida, the Carolinas, Georgia, things like this. The coastal states that generally get slammed with hurricanes each year, right? Now, obviously not all these states, and we never want these states to go through this, but this is something that we do see on a pretty regular basis. Each year, a handful of those states down there in the low areas do get disrupted by hurricanes. What are some of the first things that you see flying off the store shelves when those hurricanes are announced? Like, hey, we're coming in and we're going to see this, hitting landfall or whatever, okay? What is some of the first items you see flying off the shelves? You see water, you see food, batteries, and things like that, right? So all of these types of items. Why? because people are preparing for what's coming, right? Obviously, you know this, but my point is kind of the same type of situation here. So we've got a lot of different forces coming together right now, and yeah, these international hackers, because apparently they have nothing else to do, they're targeting these facilities as well. So again, I'm not sitting here saying you should go out and buy all this extra stuff and stock it away in your basement or in your garage or whatever, in your loft or in your attic, stuff like that. Okay, I'm not saying that, but I don't know. It's something you certainly want to be aware of, especially going out right now, and all these different forces that are kind of, converging all at the same time here. So anyway, this is the warning that was sent out there, and again, nothing to be really, to be too alarmed about and be too concerned about, but at the same time, you probably want to be aware of this, considering if something were to happen, we probably want to have a little bit of preparation in place, or at least be aware of this. Now, let me point this out really quickly. Let's just say that you live out, I don't know, in the country somewhere, whatever that happens to be, right? I'm just saying. Let's just say that you have a well system, okay? So you draw your water right out of the ground, and maybe you have like a septic system or a drain field or a holding tank or something like that, for wastewater, stuff like that, but you draw your water directly out of the ground. Will this directly impact you? Well, I'd have to say probably not so much. Why? Because you're drawing your water directly out of the ground, right? So would they have direct access to your system? Probably not. This is more of a city water system, right? So if you're located more in an urban area where you draw on like city water, and your wastewater goes into city systems and stuff like that, this is the systems that I'm talking about here. But somebody living out out a little bit further, out of the cities and things like this, that are maybe having their own systems right there on property, this probably wouldn't impact you nearly as much, because you have all your water that is just drawn right out of the ground, which is pretty awesome too, right? But anyway, just saying. But anyway, just want to point this out for you really quickly. A lot of weird stuff going on right now. Again, thought it would be very interesting to bring this to your attention, just because, I don't know, when I see stuff like this, I think, I don't know, should I even bring this to the attention of the community? But when it comes down to water, I feel like water is one of these things that is so vitally important that it's like, you know what, this is worth talking about. This is a valid concern that we certainly need to bring to the attention, because let's just be real for a second, right? We can't really go long without water. I mean, let's just be real. That's the reality of the situation, okay? And if our water is non-existent, or it is tainted to the point where we can't use it, that's a major problem. That's a major, major problem. Now we need to go into a situation where it's like, okay, let's scramble and find something fast, right? So anyway, I just want to bring this to your attention really quickly. Again, I come across a lot of weird stuff every single day as I do all this research, a lot of weird things that I come across. And this one I came across and I thought, you know what? I don't know. I feel like I should probably bring this to your attention really quickly here. So anyway, hope this one helps you. As always, please leave your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. I just want to point this out as well really quickly. I'm not here to scare anybody. That is not my objective. It never has been, never will be. I'm sorry. I don't get off over that. I don't really care. That's not what I'm here to do, okay? I'm not here to scare anybody, but rather just keep you informed. You're probably hearing this in your local news anyway, okay? Your local news, the international news, is probably talking about this, probably saying, get ready. These international hacker groups, which, by the way, you might be wondering, which are these international hacker groups? The ones that I was reading about anyway, maybe it's more than this, but Iranian-backed and Chinese-backed hacker groups. So again, not simply saying, pointing the finger directly at them, just saying this is just what I was reading about. I don't know. I'm not the guy who does all the research. I don't have the intelligence to look into this stuff. I'm just simply saying this is just what I've been reading about and what I've been finding with the research. So anyway, hope this one helps you. As always, if you have not done so, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so. Share the video and go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel, including those linked down below in the description or the top of the comment section. And until next time, enjoy your day. Take care. Have a good one. And I'll catch you again later, or check out the videos here on your screen, and I'll catch you again.